All right, let's jump right into this explainer. This is a high-stakes masterclass challenge, specifically designed to test your advanced interpretation of the ASME Y14.5 2018 standard. You know, as product designers, manufacturing engineers, and quality inspectors, we live and breathe dimensioning and tolerancing every single day. But today, we're leaving the basics behind and pushing straight into advanced territory. Because here's the absolute truth of the manufacturing floor, these concepts literally decide whether a part passes or fails inspection. Sure, most engineers get the basic symbols, but they start to sweat the second material conditions, bonus tolerances, or virtual conditions show up on a complex production drawing. And misinterpreting this stuff, it costs companies millions in scrapped parts. Whether we're talking about, say, automotive brackets, engine blocks, or precision-machined housings.
So here's our agenda. 1. Material conditions, MMC and LMC. 2. Decoding bonus tolerance. 3. Navigating virtual condition. 4. Advanced position tolerance. And 5. Tallying your advanced GD&T score. I'm going to prompt you before every answer, so be ready to pause, lock in your choice, and really test your engineering judgment.
Okay, Section 1, Material Conditions, MMC and LMC. Let's kick things off by testing a fundamental assumption that traps a surprising number of folks on the shop floor. Here's our first scenario, a classic engineer trap. Does MMC, or Maximum Material Condition, apply to all GD&T controls on a drawing by default? Is it A, yes, B, no, or C, only on datums? All right, pause the explainer for 5 seconds, lock in your answer, and let's see what you've got.
Well, if you said B, you nailed it. The correct answer is B, no. This trips people up all the time, but according to paragraph 5.9.1, rule number 2 dictates that regardless of feature size, or RFS, is the absolute default condition for geometric tolerance values. And on top of that, regardless of material boundary, or RMB, is the default for datum feature references. So, the really crucial takeaway here is that if you want to override this standard default, you have to explicitly apply the MMC or LMC modifier to your geometric tolerance. And the exact same logic applies to datums. To override the default there, you must explicitly add the MMB or LMB modifier. Basically, if it's not actually drawn in the feature control frame, it just doesn't apply. Simple as that.
Moving right along to Section 2, Decoding bonus tolerance. Let's see how well you grasp what actually happens when that MMC modifier is explicitly applied. Picture this incredibly common manufacturing scenario. A hole has a position tolerance at MMC, but the manufactured hole actually departs from its MMC limit of size. What effect does this departure have? A. Tolerance decreases. B. Additional tolerance is available. Or C. No change. Think about it, pause the explainer, and lock in your choice. The correct answer is B. Additional tolerance is available. If you got that, awesome job. This introduces that beautiful concept we all know and love on the shop floor, bonus tolerance. This is a perfect illustration of paragraph 5.9.4. When a geometric tolerance is applied on an MMC basis, your allowable variation actually depends on the feature's departure from its MMC size. And you can figure out this extra tolerance using either the surface method or the axis method. With the surface method, as long as you maintain specified size limits, no element of the surface can violate the virtual condition boundary. So, you get your maximum geometric variation when the feature is at least material condition, or LMC, with perfect form. This extra breathing room is basically free money for the machining department. It keeps QA from tossing perfectly good functional parts into the scrap bin.
All right, on to Section 3, Navigating virtual condition. Let's dig into how we calculate the absolute physical boundaries of our parts. Here is your question for round 3. What generates the virtual condition, the VC, of a feature of size? A. Size tolerance alone. B. Mating part dimensions. Or C. The collective effects of specified MMC or LMC and geometric tolerance. Read this one carefully. Think about how we actually build functional gauges on the shop floor and hit pause to make your selection.
All right, if you chose C, you are absolutely correct. It is definitely not derived from size tolerance alone. ASME paragraph 3.70 is super strict about this. Virtual condition is strictly defined as a constant, worst-case boundary, and it's generated by the collective effects of a considered feature of sizes specified MMC or LMC, plus the geometric tolerance for that specific material condition. It's an absolute hard limit that exists on or inside the material. So how do we actually put this into practice? Well, calculating this boundary is a non-negotiable step. Per paragraph 5.12, you have to consider these collective effects when determining the clearance between parts, especially for fixed or floating fastener formulas. It's also how we establish gauge feature sizes. The process is straightforward. You identify your MMC or LMC limit, identify your geometric tolerance, and combine them to establish that constant, unyielding boundary.
We're in the home stretch now. Section 4, Advanced Position Tolerance. Let's test how you handle non-standard geometries.
Now, this one is a massive trap for product designers outlining non-standard parts. When you're applying positional tolerancing to non-circular features of size, like open-end slots or tabs, what must be omitted from the feature control frame? Is it A, datum references, B, the diameter symbol, or C, modifiers? Think it over, hit pause, and let's check your work.
And the correct answer is B. You absolutely must omit the diameter symbol. Paragraph 10.4.5 mandates this, and honestly, it makes perfect logical sense when you think about it. The fundamental principles of positional tolerancing for circular features still apply here, but with a twist. For a slot or a tab, your positional tolerance is locating a center plane that's established by parallel surfaces. Because of that, the tolerance value represents a distance between two parallel planes. It's not a theoretical cylinder. Sticking a diameter symbol in there would be a major drawing error, and I guarantee it'll cause an argument with your inspection team down the line.
All right, Section 5, your Advanced GD&T score. It's time to tally up those answers and see where you rank.
Moment of truth. If you got between 0 and 2 correct, no worries, but you'll definitely want to circle back and review those MMC fundamentals and default rules. If you scored a 3 or 4, great job. You've got a really solid grasp of these advanced concepts. And hey, if you got a perfect 5 out of 5, huge congratulations. That is expert-level interpretation of the standard, and you are more than ready to tackle the trickiest production drawings. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a somewhat provocative thought pulled from the principles of Section 7.7. Think about this. Does a datum establish location by itself? Or is it the interaction of real features against that theoretical reference frame that dictates true precision? Remember, a datum reference frame exists purely in theory. It's not physically on the part. It's the physical simulators, those true geometric counterparts, that actually constrain the degrees of freedom on the inspection table and turn our theoretical drawings into physical reality. So keep that engineering judgment sharp and keep diving into those standards. Because in our next explainer, we're going to level up yet again. We'll be tackling composite positional tolerancing, navigating complex datum shifts, and really getting into advanced production drawing interpretation. I'll see you then.